My dudes, my buddies, my G's, Ian Taylor here. We are back with another reaction. If my voice sounds a little wonky today, it's because I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but I have a nice cup of tea here to make me feel better. So I do apologize if my voice does sound wonky, but, you know, I think that we can all get over that. Today, we are in for a treat, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you guys recommended this song to me a few times in the comment sections of my previous videos. Genesis by Ren. We are diving straight back into that Ren rabbit hole head first because I think I'm addicted at this point. I think I am addicted to Ren. I think that that is the case. So let's go ahead and get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and pop that onto the screen right there. And, yeah, well, this is a blind reaction. I've never seen this song or never heard this song or seen this video. So I'm thoroughly excited about what we're gonna figure out here. So let's go ahead and dive in, guys.
When I'm by myself, I find my mind starts drifting somewhere else. It's not inside this dimension, it's definitely somewhere else.
I already love it. I already love it because it's true. When you're by yourself, at least with me, when I'm by myself, especially late at night, I find my thoughts drifting. In fact, I find myself battling to calm my mind enough to be able to go to bed. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. I love that Ren has this ability to start every song with this statement that is so relatable to so many people. And it's something that not a lot of people talk about, you know? It's not like you hit up your best friend, you're like, God damn, man, I just can't keep my mind asleep. You know, not a lot of people do that. So I like that he's willing to tackle this right off the bat and say something so relatable to so many people and say something that is not often talked about.
Wrestle with my thoughts, constant wrestle with my mental health. I'm put on life support, I've been put upon a higher shelf. My whole life I've been fighting. This cake, it don't have icing. These mantras I'm reciting, they're meant to keep me sane.
Ooh, I love that. This cake, it don't have icing. These mantras I'm reciting are meant to keep me sane. And then he's going to say, I don't know if they're working. I can see the lyrics right there. It's so true. Well, first of all, the cake not having icing, I love that because it's a play on the icing on the cake, right? That's a figure of speech that a lot of people use, and he's saying there is no icing on this cake. And then he's talking about the mantras that you're reciting, and they're meant to keep him sane. That's relatable to me because I do speak mantras to myself, you know, not on the daily, but I do try because, you know, it's important to wake up and tell yourself that you love you. You know what I mean? It is important to say those kinds of things to yourself. And sometimes it helps a lot. Sometimes it gets you on the right path to tackle the day in a good way. And then other times you don't know why you're even doing it. Sometimes it just feels like it's not worth it to do these mantras. But I will say, as somebody who has struggled with mental health in the past, that mantras are a really, really effective tool of learning to love yourself, you know? And so I like that he says that he does these mantras, and I also like that he admits that he struggles with whether they're working or not. I think that that's something that's very relatable.
I don't know if they're working, cerebral cortex hurting. Maybe it's all learning. Maybe it's because life is a lottery, what's an anomaly. Sometimes it's riches and sometimes it's poverty.
Life is a lottery, what an anomaly. Sometimes it's riches and sometimes it's poverty. That is so fucking true because some people are born into wealth. Some people are born into poverty, and you don't get to choose that. It's a lottery, right? It's luck of the draw, you know? Some people are born in the middle. And then even if you go past birth, you can still tackle the concept of saying, you know, getting from poverty to riches, there is a luck factor there. And going from riches to poverty, there's even the antithesis of the luck factor where it's unlucky. And sometimes you just, I mean, obviously your choices have consequences and it's not all luck, but a lot of it has to do with luck, whether that's bad luck or good luck. And so I like that he says that because that is true. You know, life is a lottery. You never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates, right? Some Forrest Gump in this bitch. I love it. I love it.
Sometimes your nerves have been fired by neuropathy, begging the surgeon to have a lobotomy. Honestly, I'ma speak honestly, honest.
Begging the surgeons to have a lobotomy. That's, wow. That's profound because you're basically saying, because I don't know if everybody knows what a lobotomy is, but I'm sure that most of you do. But it's basically where they pick you and they they destroy a part of your brain that kind of makes you into who you are, but it also, in a way, would destroy all of the bad stuff too. It would destroy the pain, the depression, the anxiety, all of that would be gone. Now, granted, you would be a zombie walking around, but you wouldn't have to deal with all of the negatives of life basically because your mind couldn't comprehend them. And so in order to beg the surgeon to have a lobotomy, you have to be in such a dark place to want to become that, because there is so much good in the world that balances out all of the dark, I think. I think that there is as much good as there is bad, but if you're in a dark enough place that you want to beg a surgeon for a lobotomy, God, you really got to be low. You know what I mean? You really have to be low. You have to feel like there's nothing but bad. That's a very profound statement. And I love what they're doing with the vocals here, because he's got his normal voice, and then I believe there's a little bit of a higher pitched layer and then a little bit of a lower pitched layer, and it adds this kind of crazy insanity factor to his voice of, he's not in the right mental state right now. That's kind of what that kind of says. I love it. I love it. Oh, it's just a low, but still, same concept applies. License to kill myself, call me Connery. Oh, that's crazy, because obviously it's a play on License to Kill that's a James Bond movie that Sean Connery acted in, but he's also saying license to kill myself. So he is struggling with these thoughts, and I don't know if he's got somebody in his life that may have killed themselves as well, may have committed suicide. It sounds like he does, though. It sounds like the idea of suicide is not just a relatable concept because he's thinking about it. It sounds like it's a relatable concept because he knows somebody, or multiple people maybe, that have done that. And then he says, I'm going to go straight for the heart. And it sounds like he's talking to us, the viewer, where he's saying, yeah, suicide. I know that other people out there have dealt with that in one way or another, whether it's suicidal thoughts or somebody that they know that has committed suicide. He just immediately goes right into it. I love that.
I'ma go straight for the heart. Pupils dilate in the dark. People dilate in the dark. Never was late for the art.
Pupils dilate in the dark. People dilate in the dark. I thoroughly think that he has somebody in his life that has committed suicide. People dilate in the dark. That's totally a suicidal thought. That's totally a reference to suicide, right? And he takes it a step further because he goes, pupils dilate in the dark, So when pupils dilate, basically you move from a brightly lit area to an area that is dark, and you're not immediately able to see because there's not enough light passing through your pupils, right? And so once they dilate, more light is able to come through and you're able to see a little bit better. Now, Rand talks a lot about darkness and light, right? He especially in High Ren. And he talks about how you need the dark and the light. You need both of them to make you a person, right? Because if you didn't have the dark, you wouldn't appreciate the light. And if you didn't have the light, it would all be darkness. And so I love that he's able to say pupils dilate in the dark, people dilate in the dark, because he's kind of saying, he's talking about how when the pupils relax and it dilates, you're able to see the light in the darkness, and it's and the time spent in the darkness enables you to see more clearly in the dark. So I just love there's so much to unpack there. And God, I wish I could formulate the words to really dive deep into that, but it's also consistent with the story of Noah's Ark in Genesis. It's kind of like Noah's Ark is this story of conversion, of redemption, and so it's basically saying like you sink when you're in the darkness. The more time you spend in the dark, the better you're able to see, and the more light comes through. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's confusing. I don't know if what I just said was basically word vomit, but I think that is a very relatable point. There's so much to unpack in that one line, man. And it just goes to show what Ren is really all about.
No, I was late for the art. Genesis rain and it rain with a start. Genesis pain in the art. Genesis aim for the heart. Genesis.
Ooh. I love that vocal sample he's using there.
When I'm by myself, I find my mind starts drifting somewhere else. It's not inside this realm of thought, it's definitely somewhere else. Wage war upon my
That's great. We're bringing it back to the intro, right, where he first talks about how his mind is somewhere else, but the beat is doing something completely different. In the beginning, it's this solo guitar, and then now it's got this like this crazy, super epic sounding instrument playing right there, and he even raises his hands up, like he's like admitting he's empowering himself through his demons, and I think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool what he's doing here.
demons, I've been knocking on the gates of hell. A heretic, a heathen, I've been screaming in this padded cell. It's pain making my pain waking, it's painstakingly cold. My soul aching, my bones breaking when holding on to control.
Okay.
Wrap yellow tape round the body shape, put the body in the back, zip closed.
Wow.
It's malignant, it's mutating, it's such a sight to behold.
He's hitting this vocal pocket right here that is so unique and so it's like obviously other people have done it with the same rhythm and rhyme scheme, but I don't think anybody's done it quite like Ren, because his delivery is so unique and he's able to find this vocal pocket that just runs with the beat, you know what I mean? And I'm sure after he records his vocal, maybe he goes back in and edits the beat to really fit what he's saying, because it sounds like the bass, the kick in that beat right there just hits on the perfect syllables of his bar there. And he's saying stuff that's absolutely profound, but the way that he makes the instrumental just makes it that much more epic, you know?
Let me be real for a second. Tongue is a gun, it's a weapon. Reload, blah, 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 beast mode armor.
Tongue is a gun, it's a weapon. Reload, blah, blah, beat dead him. Like, that's really cool. I love that, because absolutely the tongue is a weapon. You know, a lot of people say that the pen is mightier than the sword, and that's a clear example.
Get 'em. Let me take the wheel for a second. Hit a hoop like Shaquille O'Neal with aggression. Regroup with a 3-point steal succession. Switch swoop when I'm making them feel the profession. Making them feel the profession. Making them feel the profession. Time is the author, the lesson. Time is a murderous weapon. Time is a curse and a blessing. Time is confined.
Time is a murderous weapon. Time is a curse and a blessing. And that's so true, because what bigger killer is there out there than time, right? Like the amount of people who die from old age. I mean, as soon as you get something like, say, cancer, you know, you're on a clock, and it's obviously the cancer that's killing you, but so is time. You know, that's an interesting concept that he's tackling.
In the eye of my mind, it reminds me that life is just slipping right by. Take my piece of the pie and I'm feeding on wine that I'm freedom in rhyme to defy my depression. I'ma be straight where you now. I'ma go straight for the heart. People dilate in the dark. People dilate in the dark. Never was late for the art.
That's such a deep
for the art. Genesis
line.
rain and it rain when it start. Genesis pain in the art. Genesis aim for the heart. Genesis. Genesis.
Ooh, he switches it up there. He puts a deep vocal underneath that. Wow. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Ren, Genesis, absolutely phenomenal. I expected nothing less from Ren. I mean, obviously, the dude is a genius at what he does. He is so good. Excuse me. He is so good at capturing a concept and bringing it to life, you know? And I've said it before, I'll say it again. Ren does not just paint a canvas, he paints the whole room. And I think that this was a clear example of that. And the video, again, was another one take, right? I believe that was a one take. Now, this one doesn't seem like it was recorded. He didn't have the microphone on him or anything like that, but it seems like it was another one take, which, again, takes so much more time and effort than doing different cuts and stuff like that. You know, it's tough to get that one take, but once you get it, it's beautiful. And I love that Ren utilizes the one take mantra. I think that's really cool. So I love this song. It tackled so many different concepts within one song. You know, the pupils dilating, the suicidal flirtation that's going on inside of this song as well. You know, he's not necessarily glamorizing suicide, but he is flirting with the idea. Because I think that a lot of people who struggle with mental health do flirt with that idea. It does cross their mind often. And whether or not they're going to do it is a different question, but just the thought process does happen. So I love that he tackled that. I love the references to Noah and the ark and how, so the story, like the themes of redemption and things like that are in Noah's ark, in Genesis in the Bible. I love that he tackles those concepts. I really, really enjoyed reacting to this one. So, guys, if you enjoyed the reaction, go ahead, and I think that there's a little card that will pop up here and here. Hit that subscribe button. That's going to pop up there. It's also underneath the video, and then I'm going to go ahead and link one of my musical things in this part over here. So if you guys are interested in checking out some of my personal music, you absolutely can. Link to the Ren Genesis music video is going to be in the description of this, and then all of my personal links will be as well. Okay, so thank you guys so much. I had a blast, and I will see you guys again for the next one. Rock on, dudes. Rock on. Peace, love, prosperity, all that Spock shit, my guys. Have a wonderful time.